Alright, everybody, welcome to another week of our show, Indie Inquiries, where each week we review Steam store pages and provide marketing advice and critiques to help developers better sell their games. I am Josh Bycer from Game Wisdom, and join me, my co-host from Nexus Games, Sharky.
Hello, everybody. And again, as usual, not for very much longer.
Mm-hmm.
The
So,
hashtag soon will name our company, rename it.
mm-hmm. So, are you ready to get into this week's offerings?
Yeah, let's get down into it.
So, we have two games this week that were not submissions, unfortunately, but there were two games that kind of struck or caught our eye that we wanted to take a look at further. And we're going to be beginning with Sandwalkers. This is an upcoming, looks like kind of a turn-based RPG style game. It's from the same developers as Legend of Keepers, which was a game that we both played that it was okay, but nothing like too exciting for us.
I really liked it,
Mm-hmm.
but I I I did feel like they did a few bad things, like when they had the free version, and then they when they came out with the paid version, they completely nerfed the free version.
Mm-hmm.
And after I had paid for the bonus stuff in the free version, and the paid version was not all that interesting to me,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that really stung.
Mm-mm. I'll see if they can do anything better this time. So, as always, let's begin with the thumbnail. So, overall, I would say this is a good thumbnail. Like, it's not like sticking out to me, but I think the elements here work.
Yeah, and let's see here.
They have kind of like the custom font. I like kind of like the interplay between like the light, medium dark, and then full dark. It really like kind of segments into like three distinct areas.
Yeah, and there is structure here between the top of the character with that green and the bottom of the character with the yellow, and then
Mm-hmm.
the name forming a structural triangle there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think like overall, like it I'm not sure if I really like the character. Like the thumbnail's not really telling me what this game is. And that's going to be a problem that's going to persist as we go through this review.
Yeah, it is, and it has a it's not standing out as much as it could stand out.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think of her grade for this?
Well, like we've said, like it doesn't do anything like wrong. Like there's nothing here that I think we would like mark this down for. But at the
Mm,
same time, it's not doing anything that kind of goes like above and beyond. So I feel like high B, maybe low A, somewhere in there. What do you think?
yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Why don't we split the difference?
Yeah, I think I'll go with a B plus, just because of the fact that it's just not wowing me. Like if there's something on here that would just immediately catch my eye, I would say easy A minus A. But without that kind of strong hook, I think it does hurt it just a little bit.
Yeah, I'll go with A minus.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, are you ready for? Wait, uh, not entirely, Simon. I think that may get us into trouble. We start reviewing YouTube channels, and it is
Yeah,
a different kind of skill set. But
yeah.
for
I don't
people,
think we're in a knowledge place to
mhm,
be able to review a YouTube channel. We don't have a good enough knowledge base.
yeah. I have some ideas on it, but I think anything I would say would get me in trouble with other YouTubers.
Mm.
But what is the chat thing? Let us know in the comments about that one. If you want to see us really get into trouble there. But are you ready for the trailer?
If Steam is.
Let's see.
Steam is not. Okay, it's going now.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. We have a kind of exciting cold opening, or medium.
It's a cold opening. It's just not a good one.
The wind, they gave shelter.
I mean, I do like how they put the studio name itself integrate into the trailer.
But between two trees.
Oh,
now
Steam is
trees are so far
jittering my foot, my stream, my video for some reason.
The 13th caravan of the Macaw, the only one still living. As it was for the 12 before us.
They're really going for kind of like the darkest dungeon, narrator explains it all kind of thing. But this person is no Wayne June.
May our experience
serve
you well.
And plus, I really think they need gameplay spliced in here.
With continuing the work of
like, the art isn't bad, but at the same time, I know it's not gameplay art.
Create a new haven, that the caravan that follows you may go even further, and continue our quest for knowledge.
That last one, where they were pushing the ball from a far distance, might have been gameplay, though.
The 100th, to repair the ancient folly that made this world hostile.
But doubt
to life.
Yeah. And then we actually get gameplay footage, 1:27.
Besides the code opening.
Yeah.
And Steam video does not like me. Jittering.
And yeah, if you were confused that this did come from the Legend of Keepers developer, it really does seem like that with all the style here.
Yeah.
The call to action at the end is not the best. In fact, I missed it when we were doing our pre-stream review because the timeline or the time at the bottom was blocking it.
Oh man. I don't know what Steam is doing, but like I pull my mouse off of the video and you can see my mouse jumping back and forth on the video, even though I see my mouse over here on my other monitor and the chat, the little timer thing is bouncing up and down. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Steam today. Is it doing that to you?
Not really, but sometimes OBS does some weird things with my mouse. So I'm sharing my screen or sharing my windows. And so, I mean, one thing, I think the trailer is way too long. A lot of that could have been cut. And again, for people who are new, we like trailers to be no more than 90 seconds or 1:30. And that's on the long end.
That's the longest you want.
Yeah.
Not the shortest, the longest. And the shortest is however much footage you have to show. Basically.
Yeah,
if you can only make an entertaining trailer for 20 seconds, make a 20-second trailer.
I can hear your, I think, sound in the background.
You can hear sound in the background?
Let me see. Is it this or is it this one? Like, it could just be mine. Let me see. Alright, it's good now. Yeah, and again, if they could splice in the gameplay footage, I think that would have helped this trailer out a lot. Like, it doesn't feel like it's overly long, but
it's not. It doesn't feel longer than what it actually is.
Yeah.
But it's longer than it should be.
Yeah.
And it should feel ideally shorter than what it is.
Yeah, and the call to action could be better as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is one of those trailers that's kind of weird. Like, it doesn't, I think, do anything amazing, but there's definitely issues with it. Like, we've seen worse trailers for games.
They did have pretty good structure. I mean, they had an, code opening. They had a middle long-ass cutscene, which served as both the intro and the middle kind of thing, in a way. And then it had a climax, and then it had a call to action. So, like, for the most part, that was on point, structure-wise. But the fact that they didn't put any gameplay in the middle and first section, really kind of hurts it a lot. And I don't even know the core gameplay loop. Like, I meant, like, we did a pre-show on this, and we looked at it, and I still don't know what the core gameplay loop is. My closest guess to the gameplay loop is Legend of Keepers.
Yeah.
Just slightly different. That's my best guess.
Yeah. And to Simon's question, how your first show should mostly gameplay with UI, not CGI. Like, if you're going to do gameplay, you want to touch it up. You don't want just kind of like naked footage or raw footage. Zoom in. You want to be able to show somebody what the game is going to be like.
Although you do need to show UI at certain points, especially at the beginning of the trailer, but that's only if you cannot correctly convey what the gameplay is without using any kind of UI element.
Yeah, and again, every genre is different. It's far easier to convey a platformer than would be, a tactical strategy game.
Yeah, if for a tactical strategy game, you would definitely have to show some UI at certain points.
Yeah, or no one's going to know how to even play it.
Yeah, and I think the same thing goes for a CCG, or a roguelike deck builder kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're going to have to show parts of the UI, especially at the beginning, to convey what's going on. Because if you just took like Slay the Spire and zoomed in so that you only seen the characters kind of thing and none of the UI, you would have no idea what kind of game that was.
Or like a 4X strategy game. Like, imagine trying to explain to somebody what Stellaris is without any UI elements.
Yeah.
It's just a simple game. You just move a ship around. You can figure that out in like 20 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
And hey, Smoke, hope you're doing well. Alright, but yeah, so like, it's by no means a bad trailer, but it's kind of like on that bubble. Like, I feel like it definitely doesn't go into the D range. Absolutely not. But it doesn't go into the A range. And I'm kind of debating, high C, low B. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a B minus.
Yeah, I think I'll go with a C plus because, like, I just feel like it's missing something to kind of get over that hump.
It's missing gameplay.
Yeah.
That's dispersed in between,
Yeah,
like now it's again, I have no clue what this gameplay loop is, so that is a failing of the trailer. The trailer should at least give me some kind of basics to what the game is actually going to be.
Yeah, and while you don't want to have like text while you're showing footage, in some cases you may need that just to say, roguelike adventure, build teams, because at the end of the day, the trailer's job is to get people excited about your game, but also explain to them what said game is going to be.
Yeah, and I think you can do text on a separate screen while in between footage as well. But it can't be just a black screen. It needs to be a cosmetically appealing screen.
Yeah, and the text has to be readable as well. Yeah. So,
and it also needs to be very, very short.
Yeah, like we don't want the entire screen of text. Maybe like 3-4 words at most.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the images. So the thing about these images is we did a check when we were doing a kind of our pre-review of this, and while there are 7 images, 3 of them were clearly in the trailer. The first one,
all of the combat ones.
Yep. Number 4 and number 7. So 4 of these screenshots are original. So you have kind of like looks like almost like a Civ or hex-based map. We have what appears to be, looks like it could be like passive buffs. Yeah. Character selector, which looks very much like Legend of Keepers.
Oh.
And Looks like
So does
Smoke and
the
and Simon are both. We have some international audience here, which is always great
right.
to hear.
Yep. I need to test in my chat.
And so the screenshots are good, I think, from an aesthetic point of view. But the problem is that you want 5 original screenshots. So we didn't quite get that with this one.
Yeah. And it's really sad because I mean this is just magnifying the issues that were in the trailer.
Yep, still don't know, like, how I'm playing this game. Like, I
Yeah.
assume we're going to be managing these characters. Like, I feel like this is very much going to be like an evolution or maybe even just a side grade of Legend of Keepers, where it's going to be very hero character focus.
Yeah, I don't know what the gameplay loop is, but you know, best thing I can think of is something, you know, beside, you know, of Legend Keepers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, is in Legend of Keepers, from watching that trailer, I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah, this.
I knew what, you know, I knew what I was doing at any point in that store page, and this one, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I can only guess.
Yep. And because of that, it is taking the store page down. Like, it's
Yeah.
not horrible. Like, that's the thing. Like we said when we did our kind of our review show, where we kind of explained how we did this. Most games will probably end up in the C range. And it takes doing really amazing things to go higher and really horrible things to go lower.
Well, it's amazing within the category kind of thing.
Yeah.
I guess you would say,
Mhm.
or you know,
Yeah.
which screenshots is kind of that weird one where you don't have to do anything amazing to get an A.
Yeah. And it also doesn't really factor that much in when it comes to like our overall grade because of it. So,
Yeah, because I mean, you can, you know, just put 5 different screenshots that
look
tell
nice.
what the, you know, tell what the gameplay loop is, and you're an A minus right
Yeah.
there. You know, it's very basic, very simple to get A minus in screenshots.
Yeah. It's a lot harder to get that when it comes to trailer and thumbnail, which are
yeah.
far more important. So,
Yeah.
overall, again, like, even though it doesn't meet our minimum, or at least our minimum of original, I should say, I mean, the screenshots aren't bad.
There's 4 original screenshots, which means that we gotta penalize it for missing one of them because we're going to say the other 3 don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that's going to take it from that A minus of having 5 of those, which is again very easy to achieve, down to a B minus for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, like, I don't feel it deserves in the C range for this. But, yeah, we can't at least give it a solid B, because I think we have to say that for, getting the minimum right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think B minus is fair. So let us scroll down, and we'll take a look at the About This Game page. So we have custom banner and GIFs, which are always nice. You really do want to have, you want to have organization. You want it to look aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
Yeah, and you also want to have, break up the text so that you're not drowning people out with walls of text.
Yeah, like the second paragraph is borderline too long.
I wouldn't say borderline too long. It's definitely too long, but it's not too long by much.
Yeah, like maybe 5-6 words.
Yeah. If it ended at capital, then this would have been fine.
Yeah.
But we're not going to penalize it for having just a couple words too many.
Mm-hmm. I love
it. Just, may add or subtract to something that we, find later.
Yeah. I love the second GIF banner because this is actually a GIF, but it's so subtle that I had to stare at it for like a minute and a half to see if there's any movement going on in it.
Oh, you're talking about the main features one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they needed more movement in that.
Mm-hmm. So, part of the problem with this is that, again, we're being told, but we're not seeing this.
We have all these bullet points and nothing showing us anything about these bullet points.
Mm-hmm. That's good. We're more interesting than LOL. That's great. We need to put that on a tagline somewhere.
Yeah, we'll just post that on Twitter. More interesting than LOL. when we put it up.
Yeah. And again, this is the big problem with this page, is that I still don't know what this game is actually going to be gameplay-wise. Make choice that will affect your future expeditions. Okay, what are they? Each got a different job, don't underestimate.
Yeah, and this bottom GIF is just scrolling over a map, and it's just like, well, what is that for?
Yeah. I just don't know. And again, it's not a bad page. That's the thing.
The structure's here.
Yeah. But it's missing.
Although it could be better.
It's definitely above average. But it's
way above average.
But it's missing, I think, what goes beyond. This would definitely not be, I think, an A grade page because of it.
I think it's not going beyond. I think they're missing the regular stuff, actually telling you what the gameplay is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they went beyond, but they missed the basics kind of thing. So
yeah.
it's sort of, I think, the genius with no common sense kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They miss the most easy and common stuff that is the most important stuff, while getting
the advanced stuff,
high polish and high advanced stuff. Yeah,
having custom banner gifts, that is definitely above what we normally see for a lot of indie developers.
Mm-hmm.
So grade wise, this is again one of those things where we're kind of hovering between different points about, because it is very hard. It doesn't do enough right, in my opinion, to go into the A range. But at the same time, it does do enough, I think, to get it beyond C. So I think it's lying somewhere in the B range.
Yeah, I'm going to go B-.
Yeah. And I think I'll split the difference with you. I think I'll go solid B on this one. It's very hard. I think it's B- B, in that kind of middle ground of what this page would be.
Yeah.
Everything's a time waste, right?
B- and a half.
Yeah. So let's get to the title card, because fortunately,
or would it be B?
Yeah.
It's the B-.
Title card is fortunately one that's a lot easier to grade on, because we're looking for very specific things. So right off the bat, we do see one bit of an issue. We only have one genre tag, and you want to have at minimum 3.
Yep, which is definitely going to lose at some points. But luckily, the 2 that it's missing are give-me's. They have
single
the important
player
one
indie
in here. Yeah. They have the important one here.
I would probably add RPG as well to this.
Depending on the core gameplay loop that we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want at least 3, and the reason why is that, as Shark said, single player and indie are just gimme ones. If you're a multiplayer, replace single player with multiplayer. But the point about the genre tags is that this is how the algorithm knows what your game is about. If you don't have them, it's going to be harder for Steam to recommend your game to people.
Yep.
So we have developer and publisher are somewhat different.
Yeah, so they don't have to be different. They just need to be professional.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if they're different or the same. It just matters that they're both professional, not a name of a person.
Game that received the highest mark. I know we've given some A's. I think Over Vita got an A. Auction Not Included got an A. Rise of the Slime, I think got either high B or A. We've yet to get.
I think it got an A. It either got an A minus or a solid A for its overall grade.
Yeah. I don't think we've given out one A plus overall yet.
Yeah, I think we've only given out one actual A. I think everything else has been A minus.
Yeah.
Or lower.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when we're talking about overall grades, it's only no A pluses and one solid A, and I think like 3 A minuses. I think we've had like 15, 20 B pluses though.
Yeah, a lot of B's and B pluses. Yep. So, back to the title card. So we have a Twitter, and you can message them on Twitter. I checked that out. They have their YouTube channel.
And it's active.
Yeah. But very few subs, which is very weird.
Yeah, that is definitely weird considering the games they published and made.
And it's very hard to Simon's comment about how reviews affect sales, because we've seen big name YouTubers cover games that do very little, and then some games that get a lot with very little marketing and buzz.
I tell you that it only matters to a very small degree, at least to this point. Let's finish this, and then I'll give my answer to that with an example from my last game.
Okay, so title card. Now, they are missing a Discord, and like we've said, in today's market, with a lot of people using Discord for marketing, networking, and PR purposes, you do need to have it.
Yeah, having a Discord for a commercial game right now is absolutely required.
Mm-hmm.
Although, in a year or two from now, can't say. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I think it will be, but, only time will tell.
Yeah. So without having a Discord, that does basically keep it from A range right now.
And missing those 2 tags.
Mm-hmm. So, but they do have Twitter. They do have ways to get in touch. And the question is, how much do we knock it for the lack of tags?
B minus.
All right. Yeah, I think B minus B again. Like for me, like it's. Again, I think they do enough right to keep it out of the C range, but not enough to go beyond that.
No, a lot of talent, so judges are paid off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't get paid for this yet.
Good grades.
There you go. You want an A plus, you know what to do. So overall grade time. So the overall grade, as we've said before, kind of begins at the trailer. Because a trailer is your major form of marketing, not just on Steam, but YouTube, social media, whatever.
It's a key part of your grade. Yeah. It's the I guess it would be the meat to the bread of the sandwich, know.
And then the thumbnail
the trailer is the meat, and the everything else is the bread.
Yeah, and thumbnail is number 2 in terms of importance.
That would be your top piece of bread, and the rest of the things is probably your bottom piece of bread.
So, trailer, we gave that like C plus B minus, so that's kind of where we're going to start out. Mm-hmm. Thumbnail, we gave that pretty high. I think I gave it a B plus, you gave it an A minus.
Yep.
Images, we gave that a B minus. And we gave everything else like B minus B range as well. So... Yeah.
I feel like so when we talk about this, like, from the trailer, how much is a trailer grade affected by everything else? Well, everything else, if it was all S or A plus, it would only add 3 grades to it. So if we're starting at a
C
B
plus,
minus,
B minus,
it would be an A minus at that point. Mm-hmm. If everything else is A rank, which it clearly isn't, but if everything else is F kind of thing, it would bring it down by 3, which would take it from a B minus down to a C minus. So, the trailer grade locks you into a very tight range on your grade. So,
yeah, you need to do a whole lot if you're like a C plus B minus on everything else to get that up to an A. Like we're talking, A plus S's, and most stores don't go that far. Like we rarely see, very bad trailer, and then beyond amazing everything else.
Yeah.
So, like, this is one that I feel like, at least for me, like I said, it was going to be a C plus. I feel like it does get raised, very little by what everything else they've done right, but I don't think it goes that much higher.
Yeah, I feel like, in the end, there's 3 grades between, S and, whatever it's currently at. And I feel like this is hitting in the 1.5 range.
Mm. Yeah.
So
Like,
I think we I think I'm gonna go with a solid B because I think the 1.5 is going to compensate to go to that level.
yeah. And I think I'll go up from a C plus to B, maybe borderline B minus B. Like again, it's like on like these
But
very
that's the reason why I
narrow.
said 1
Yeah,
plus. That's the reason why I only went up to a B
yeah,
because I'm borderline B plus.
yeah. So I think
So
I
when
will
we
go.
combine our 2 borderlines, we just get a solid B.
Yeah, and I think that's fair for this one. Like, it does, I think, more things right than it does wrong, but it's not knocking it out of the park.